Welcome to OffBeat Business TV and the OBBM Network podcast. CEO and host Susan Hamilton shares vital insight from local DFW leaders on successful life and business, focused squarely on local family business. It's time for our nation to rise, and we'll do it through a vibrant local business sector that stands up for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Ready to meet your advocates? Here's your host.
Well, hello there. My name is Susan Hamilton. You're watching OffBeat Business TV or listening to the OBBM Network podcast. I'm here today with the fabulous Lori Stai of the Life with Lori podcast. Nice to see you, Lori.
You too, Susan. Thank you so much for having me today.
You know, I really enjoy your perspective on money. I like your attitude, and I have ever since you onboarded with the OBBM Network, and you started talking about your heart for the community and the difference it means, the way we think about wealth. The way we think about money is really jacked up today, Lori. What's going on?
Well, first of all, we live in a debt epidemic. We live in a time when we are not able any longer, a lot of times, to be able to save money the way that we used to. People are outliving their money. Social Security is probably going away. Retirement isn't enough anymore to live on because we have inflation. As I said, people living longer.
You're painting such an awful story.
Yes, I am, but I also have a solution.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's awesome. But it's true. I mean, we have to we have to live in the reality. The reality is we have a debt epidemic, and we are hostage to creditors.
You're not a hostage to anything. The first story I ever heard of you was so much fun because you were like, you know what? I am going to take some ownership of my life. I'm going to make some decisions, and I am going to go love people with reckless abandon. And in that moment, all kinds of opportunities opened up for you. Do you want to share briefly with our audience a little bit and tell them what on earth you have just been through this last year?
Sure. I have always been a risk taker. I've always believed that we have to jump in the deep end. We have to take the blinders off. Mm-hmm. I believe that we walk past a lot of the things that we dream about and want because we walk in fear of change. This is not a problem of mine.
Yeah, because you're not a native Texan, and you're certainly not a native Dallasite.
No, I am not. I actually moved here last year from Seattle. Which was a move that I made after spending 9 months in Puerto Rico, where I ended up buying a beautiful home on the beach. And that decision was made in a 2-week period after visiting for 2 days. So I see things that I want and I go after them. I believe life is short. I believe that things happen for a reason, and I believe if we pay attention to the signs, that great things happen for us.
Now, you said that very humbly, Lori, but I happen to know that decision that you made wasn't reckless abandon. When you went over there, you went to help clean up after that hurricane.
I did.
And in the process of going into that space, tell us, what on earth was that like?
It was humbling. I think that I believe that we all live a privileged life to an extent when we don't understand what those situations are like. The Puerto Rican people are incredibly generous. I mean, their hearts are open, and we would go out to people's homes. They had no roof, they had no water, they had no electricity. We'd go out and look to see what they needed. And you never got to leave without a meal, even though they didn't have any food. They'd go pick an avocado off their tree. That generosity and the type of people and the way that they came together, but it wasn't just come together. They're like that even before the hurricane. That's just the culture. And knowing that I'm a person that loves to help people, it just really kind of enhanced my desire to take all of my experiences, which are a lot in life, and put them to work as best I could. Did I know what that looked like? No, because I went back to Seattle in the beginning of 2019 to make a move to Plano, Texas, a place I'd never been. I knew that I didn't like Texas because my only experience was south of Houston, and I just hated the humidity. So I was like, I don't like Texas.
As you hated the humidity coming from Washington, that cracks me up just a little bit. I mean, it's the
we
land
don't
of
have humidity. We have wet.
straight up soggy.
It's just straight up soggy. But the thing is I am very, very connected to my family. And so my son and my daughter-in-law, my grandkids were making that move here. And so I followed blindly, jumping in the deep end and knowing that it would work out. And I spent 2019 kind of really not knowing what to do. I had my businesses. I've always been able to work remotely no matter what I do. I have a tax preparation business, 37 years. I have my traveling notary business. But I really didn't know what that was going to look like. And in December, I kind of just opened my heart and my mind, and I said a few prayers, and I said, look, I need something to do. What is this going to look like for me? And I've always dreamed of writing a book. I've always dreamed of taking my experiences and sharing those with other people and hoping to, just help one or two people in the world understand themselves better and be more successful. And be careful what you pray for. Be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you ask for. And always be specific. Because the egg cracked open, January came, a series of events happened that led me to Nate Offert, who is a phenomenal mentor, which led me to Coach Michael Burt. And I just went into 2020 with reckless abandon and decided that after all of these years of helping other people and being there for my family and in making those investments in a lot of other people, including my family, that I would finally do it for myself. So 2020 has brought a new insurance agency. It has brought an extreme passion in helping people to overcome the debt epidemic and create strategic wealth out of their debt. And it has also led me to writing the book, starting a coaching program, and basically just taking the bull by its horns and making that huge investment and deciding to not hold anything back. And that led me to you. You were part of that process.
That's pretty doggone exciting. Friends, are you digging this? How would you like to know about strategic wealth? Yeah, is that possible? It is, and I'm excited to share even more when we come back after a few minutes of listening to our sponsors. Strong business has always been the clear economic indicator. Work Suites in Allen, Texas is just one of 18 locations in DFW and Houston that support your necessary transitions with full service and affordable workspaces for upgrading or downsizing your current workload. You need to be focused on growth. Trust the office experts and helpful staff at Work Suites to take care of everything else, from dedicated phone lines and internet to furnished executive and co-working spaces. The OBBM network has tripled our business in the short months we've been with Work Suites and encourages you to step out boldly, make the tough decisions, and get back to work your way. Your nation depends on it. The OBBM network acknowledges that this is a pivotal time in history, and it is clear the United States of America has been undermined by many of our elected officials for some time now. We want our local business audience to stand strong in the face of what we now understand, and to be empowered to grow our businesses on the local level beyond the limitations that have been imposed upon us. We believe it is in our national interest to inspire our communities through strong economic development, and additionally to hold our elected officials accountable for accurate representation of we the people. For that reason, we encourage you to go to WeStandForFreedom.com to learn about the National Write Your Congressman organization that has been the trusted communication tool for local communities for over 60 years. Learn how your representatives are voting. Understand the laws and regulations under consideration on the state and federal level before they are enacted at the county and city levels. Communicate directly with these officials and stand up for yourself, for by doing so, you will protect the communities you serve from tyrannical rule and unconstitutional reforms. The OBBM network is the premier voice for local business, and we take that responsibility seriously. The OBBM network has everything you need to grow and transition your business for success on popular syndicated podcast networks, Roku and other video channels, and the OBBM network app. We work for you, local business, and we've got your back. And we're back. You're watching OffBeat Business TV. My name is Susan Hamilton, and I am here with the lovely Lori Stai. Lori, you say reckless abandon, but you have not really, you know money. You're careful about money. You're not just reckless with money. What you were really referring to was your willingness to start investing in yourself and to be strategic and aggressive about the choices that you were making. That's really powerful. And right now, I'm telling everybody, we can't be marketing ourselves to the scared and timid. I know that's out there, but we are going to have to find the chest bumpers if we're going to get the American economy back up. Those are the leaders, those are the people starting and going, hey, watch this, this is how we do it. And I love that you're right on board with that. You know how to go, guys, I have been investing in myself, so I'm ready and I'm prepared and I can help you. So with this whole story about, it's not a story. I didn't mean to be derogatory by even suggesting it's a story.
No problem.
But strategic wealth can seem like a fairy tale. It can seem like something, yeah, we heard about once. When in fact, there's a lot to it. So tell us a little bit about strategic wealth planning.
So I ask people 2 questions. Are you 100% sure you have a great retirement, or do you have doubts? And if somebody's telling me they're 100% sure, I have questions. I have a lot of questions. The other question I ask is, if I could help you get out of debt in 9 years or less, including your mortgage, without spending any more than you are now, would that pique your interest? And of course, people hear that and they're like, that's got to be snake oil. That can't be true. But let me add to that. Not only am I going to put all of your debt that you owe in the 0 column, I'm going to save you the interest you're going to pay. I'm going to reduce your taxes, and I'm going to create a strategic wealth account for you that is tax-free retirement, all with the same dollar.
Yeah, it seems a little too good to be true, which, you know, that phrase doesn't scare me because I'm a daughter of the gospel, and that's what gospel means, is too good to be true news. So for me, I'm fine with that. But how do we grasp this? I mean, how long does it take to start implementing the systems that you're talking about here?
Well, that depends on, people's decision of what's important to them, their investment. Here's the thing, and this is really going to kind of go into that snake oil thing. The more debt you have, the faster I can grow your wealth.
Huh. Okay, so, my ears are both open right now. What? You're talking to business owners that have probably accrued a little bit of wealth right now, or debt, excuse me. They've accrued a little bit of debt.
Yeah, yep. And so what we're doing is we're showing them how to take that debt, pay it down rapidly, utilize accumulated money that they've made within their account, pay off chunks of their debt more rapidly, and then they're going to take that money. If you're spending $10,000 a month on bills, guess what? You're already used to paying $10,000. Would you rather go out and pay $1 to McDonald's and have that dollar never do anything for you? Or would you rather go spend $1 that's still working for you and earning interest and building your strategic wealth? So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about having your money working for you while you're spending it. Again, people are like, how does that work, right? It's really actually pretty simple. We're creating what we call infinite banking.
Huh.
And infinite banking is run through a whole life policy. And by doing so, we're allowing people to strategically grow their money, why they use their money, and have their investment pay back their loans at the same time.
So there's a couple phrases that are running around out here like crazy. And one is, this is such an uncertain time. How can we possibly plan? Or when everything is so uncertain, and that quite literally makes me bonkers, because if you don't plan and you're certain to fail. Absolutely. So you're going to have to plan even when the rest of the world's uncertain. You better be certain. But then there's that other piece, right? There may be uncertainty out there in the marketplace, but I don't want to lose a dime.
Well, you are, first of all, we are in a market right now that your money is at risk.
Amen.
Okay? Your money's at risk. You got a 401k, certain retirement accounts, even banks right now. We don't know where all this is going. We never do, but it's even more questionable right now. What I can tell you is that this is a guaranteed growth and risk-free from the market. It's what the 1% of the, just the 1% of the 1% elite wealthy people have been doing for 80 years that have protected them from downturns and actually grown their fortunes when the market was falling. So now we're bringing it to the average person and the small entrepreneur so that instead of being dependent on banks and credit cards and creditors and having to pay somebody whatever it is that they want to charge for money, they can now bank their own money, they can borrow from themselves, and they can watch their money grow inside and outside.
I love this message. I'm so excited about that because that's exactly what the community needs to hear. They need to know that there is something bigger around the corner if they start looking at this proactively. Strategic wealth planning, right? That doesn't just know if you're waiting for a great big check from the government, if you're waiting for it to fall out of the sky or the death of a relative you forgot about. Those are dangerous places to be. Yeah. And you're going to have to take a little bit of risk with your business to move forward, a little bit of risk with investing in your own personal and professional development to become who, as a person of character and integrity, who can actually bring more to this community. Because money by itself, which of course is your message, money all by itself without those pieces misses the point of wealth.
Yes. Yeah. So let me ask you this, Susan. Can you imagine what the pandemic would look like to small businesses and families if they had something like this in place with this ability to utilize their money while it was still growing for them? It would have looked a whole lot different from them financially. We would not have small businesses struggling or closing as much. We wouldn't have families who lost. We would have people out there feeling secure and have the ability within their own wealth to take care of themselves in a time when we didn't expect this. Nobody expected this. Everything was going great, right? And people wonder, how are all these people out spending money right now? There's a lot of people buying new properties, spending a lot of money during this time. And those people understand what Albert Einstein said: he who understands compound interest earns it, and he who does not pays it.
Oh, wow. It's always so fascinating to talk to you. There's like, your brain just explodes with all these little nuances because you can do something with this information. It's not just information, and everything isn't just subject to chance. It's subject to chance if you don't do anything. But if you act on the things that you know, if you act on the wisdom you're exposed to, you can really make a big difference. And the reason that's so important to you folks is that 80 to 85% of American micro to small business tend to be family-owned businesses of 9 employees or less. That means we're building our business while we're raising our kids, taking care of our parents. We probably have a veteran, active duty, law enforcement officer, nurse, EMT in our family or workspace because that's who they are. They're the fabric of the United States of America. They're the fabric of our great nation. And if they're not working on the job, they probably have a part-time job or they're helping their own family business support. That's just the heart of it. And guys, 30 to 50% of us have an addict in our family or workspace. That can't be okay. So knowing how, would that be different? Would you be able to help the addict in your family if you had the money to do so? These are questions that are very, very real. Yes, pandemic, that the government could call a pandemic again and could restrict and take us down. If it can happen once, it can happen again.
That's right.
And the only sure thing is that if you start making choices in the right direction, chances are you'll continue making choices in the right direction. If you do nothing, man, that's a bad place to be.
So it is, and let me just throw this out there, Susan. It doesn't matter whether you have $200 of what we call, extra money or money that we can find in your budget, or you have $200,000. I can help you. I can help you make that dollar you're spending that you're working so hard for work for you so you can spend it and take care of your family.
That's the way to do it.
That's the way to do it.
That's the way to do it. And so is this some of the information that you're going to be sharing at your upcoming conference?
Well, the upcoming conference is a totally different project.
Is it? No, you're not even going to talk about this little, because this is a huge nugget. I love it when you share on this.
Okay. So the upcoming conference, April 10th and 11th, Dallas, is a first time conference, and this is a veteran summit. So this is targeting veteran-owned businesses and entrepreneurs, and it is a personal development conference where we are going to bring veterans in and their counterparts, non-veterans, whoever would like to come, and fill them up for 2 days with strategic ways to grow their business, create strategic partnerships, bring in people who, personal development is huge. I don't care who you are, what level you are in your life. If you're not investing in yourself and doing some kind of personal development, but if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to go out there and do big things in your life, the first place you have to start is yourself. So we're going to have some people there like Sharon Lecter, who wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Ooh. We're going to have Tim Story, who is the coach to the stars, coach to Robert Downey Jr., Oprah Winfrey, people like that. Judge Graham, Matt Monero. We have some really, really big names going to come in and just spend 2 days filling up entrepreneurs with concepts, ideas, personal development, and creating strategic partnerships for them to go out and find that whole new level. We'll have Coach Burt there.
Fabulous, fabulous. I love what you're doing in the community, and I love how you're supporting Veteran Network. That's really, really important. One of my favorite interviews that I had over the years on the OffBeat Business show, back when we were just a radio show, was with the lovely Catherine Monson, who was at the time, I'm not sure what she's doing today, but at the time she was an international speaker and for Fast Signs International. So she was already the CEO and doing some amazing things there. And I remember her insight on that same thing about how that investment into the messaging, into that business plan, into the strategic planning of how it all comes together. People that make really a great big stage for themselves, right? Yeah. People that create that entrance they do so because they have so much to give. They do so because and you don't have it out of nothing. You have to invest in that because if you squeeze a ketchup bottle, if you squeeze a bottle, the only thing that's going to come out is what was put in it. So It's so important to invest in yourself in these spaces because you've been squeezed before, you're going to be squeezed again. You can take that to the bank. You're going to get squeezed. What are you going to do when you are, right? At that moment, that's the character that you have invested in and that growth and that learning. Okay, how do I serve on that level? A lot of things that the coaches that you're talking about are talking about are the mental fitness aspects of how you get to that next level, and that's not just for you, that's for how you work with a team. So when is that date again?
That's April 10th and 11th. We'll be coming up with a venue announcement really soon so that we can start selling tickets. I am partnering with my dear friend who was just on my show, Justin Myers, in this. This is actually his baby. And Justin Myers is the pirate hunter. So he was the first man to ever capture pirates and bring them to the U.S. soil and get a conviction, in the Navy.
So amazing.
So powerful voices, people with a great number of a great amount of success. And here's the thing, we are responsible, I believe we're responsible to take our experience, our strength, our wisdom, and our hope out to the community, to our budding entrepreneurs, to the people who are going to be the fabric of the future of this country, and do what we can to invest in them.
Man, you are so right about that. Friends, are you enjoying this? We are going to be right back. We're going to hear from a few of our sponsors and get back into this because she's not done.
Introducing IV Hookup.
IV treatments have been the standard of care used for years to deliver intravenous hydration treatment to patients. Our medical director has created a safe, industry standard protocol to efficiently support your wellness through IV vitamin hydration, including options for athletic performance, mood enhancement, general wellness, and hangover recovery. IV Hookup now offers full-spectrum COVID-19 testing at reasonable prices. This means we can get you and your staff tested in a quick time frame. Are you hosting a group event? We can provide a customized package for IV treatment and COVID testing as well. IV Hookup is everything you need to both stay healthy and to prove it.
Go to ivhookup.com to order yours, and we'll bring it right to you. That's ivhookup.com.
Our position in the market is that we work for a customer to align them with the correct retailer for their business. We'll custom price and build a contract around your business requirements, not around the supplier's preferred way of doing things. We go and do a custom price based on your energy usage profile. In our business, we can help any commercial business owner regardless of the size of their company. If you're paying $100 for your electricity per month or you're paying $1 million, we're able to help you get a better price based on who you are. Our position in the market is that we work for a customer to align them with the correct retailer for their business. Texas is very proud to have been able to shut down 9 coal-fired power plants in the last few years and replace that production with clean burning renewable energy. The 85% of the electricity in the grid for Texas is used on commercial. We're here to help those 85% reduce their costs as much as possible.
And we're back. You're watching OffBeat Business TV and hearing from the fabulous Lori Stai. My name is Susan Hamilton, and we're going to continue because you've been talking about this great conference with all these people that you are bringing in April 10th and 11th?
Yes.
April 10th and 11th right here in DFW, Dallas. Exactly where?
Well, we're working on that.
Ah.
In fact, if anybody out there is, got a great venue, conference center, we're looking at probably having about 300 people.
Okay, fabulous.
The great benefit for a venue will be that we already have Forbes magazine and Fox News committed to cover the event. So exposure, 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 people. It is who you know.
That's pretty amazing. That's pretty amazing. It could be a very, very a lucrative time for people that are willing to take advantage of opportunity and step up into that space and be prepared for the next steps out there.
That's right.
So I really love what the Life with Lori podcast is bringing in. As you mentioned, the Pirate Hunter, Justin Myers, you'll be able to find that on the Life with Lori podcast on the OBBM network. So that's exciting. You can find us on Buzzsprout, on Google and Apple and Stitcher and iHeart and all of those things. But get out there and listen to some of the insights that Justin Myers has already been sharing through the Life with Lori podcast. I mean, this is not small potatoes here. He's really got some great insight. And what is that Instagram handle he has? Do you remember offhand?
Pirate Hunter.
Yeah, it's Pirate Hunter on
Pirate
Instagram,
Hunter.
right? I thought it was very simple and pretty neat.
Yeah.
Pretty neat guy. So you have managed to surround yourself with core people that help lift you up so that you can do what you need to do. And your life isn't without challenges.
No.
Are you just out there living for you, just spending all the time in the world, just taking your training and doing the self-betterment stuff? Is that all you're doing, Lori?
No.
That's what
It'd be fun.
Right. But that's not realistic, and that's usually not what people who are investing in themselves are doing.
No, and the investment in myself, let me, I just want to clarify what that means, because I do feel that my purpose here is to take my knowledge, take all the things that I have experienced in my life, and help other people. And so by investing in myself and expanding my personal development, my understanding, my knowledge of other people and what they do, but also imagine surrounding yourself on a daily basis with these high frequency people who are nothing but action, who have already overcome obstacles that you want to overcome or that you want to help other people overcome. Because, I said it's who you know. It is who you know, but it's also who you align yourself with. You will rise to the people you align yourself with. And if you're going to hang around with, people who do not have any kind of desire to grow and be better, that's probably where you're going to stay stuck too. It's going to be more difficult. I have a dear friend who just wrote a book called The Vampire. What was the title? Anyway, it was the concept is that you have to be careful because there are people out there who will literally suck your energy.
Yeah.
So my goal this year has been to surround myself with people who pour energy into me so that I can pour energy into others. That's ultimately the goal.
It is.
And so yes, I've been out traveling through this pandemic. I have traveled to Mexico multiple times. I've been to 7 different, lots of conferences, and all of that in furtherance of being able to build a better quality team, because I don't believe in leading a team. I believe in inviting them on my journey. And right now, my journey is breaking that ceiling and going all the way to the top and taking as many people as I can with me.
Okay, so that's what you need to know. Lori, where can they find you?
They can find me at Stai, STAI, .debtfree, DEBTFREE, @gmail. Or they can call me at 425-577-3050. You can also find me on Facebook at Stai Life and Wealth Planning.
Well, this is exciting. Hey, friends, until next time, you've been watching OffBeat Business TV or listening to the OBBM network. Tune in for our next episodes and get more information just like this.